Welcome to Journey to Misery, where I explain complicated comics, characters and concepts to the patient and perplexed perplexed hell in her heart. I'm Kieran Shiak, and this is part 4 in the series. It is... Daredevil.
Still.
Don't say still, that sounds like...
No, I love Daredevil.
Sounds like, Daredevil. Still. No, it's Daredevil, we love Daredevil.
I love Daredevil now.
We watched the Daredevil movie last night.
Yeah.
That was a bunch of fun.
It was, I enjoyed it.
So, we're going to be talking all about a run by one of the most influential creators of the 21st century.
Okay.
It's a man named Ed Brubaker.
I have heard of him, only because you have talked about him.
Ed Brubaker, among other things, is the man who had the mad idea to bring Bucky back to life.
Ah, yeah, that guy, okay.
So he created the idea of the Winter Soldier.
Good egg.
So let's see what he has in store for Matt Murdock.
Oh no, please don't hurt him.
I can guarantee you that none of his girlfriends or wives or anything die in this episode.
That's good.
But
bad things are still going to happen.
Yeah, I'll start in a second. First, we have some thank yous for our lovely supporters on Patreon.
We do.
4 new Patreon.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. We had what was it, $17 or something stupid?
And then it went down to 7.
Yeah, and then everyone pledged and we were like, God damn.
Yeah, we're currently $5 away from the $100 level.
Which is ridiculous.
So first off, a huge thank you to Brandon House, who I have met IRL, and I know for a fact he's a cool dude.
How'd you know Brandon?
He was at King of Trios.
Oh, okay, right. Will I see him this year?
I'd assume so.
Cool, awesome.
Carla Hoffman, who is a good friend and a long-time supporter of the show.
I know of her.
Chris Hansborough, who I don't know as well, but I'm sure is super swell. And Dylan Winslow, who I also don't know, but obviously has great taste in podcasts.
Good eggs.
So thank you to Brandon, Carla, Chris and Dylan for supporting the show. We recorded our thoughts on Daredevil 2003 yesterday, over the course of 2 days really.
Yes.
And that is now up on Patreon for supporters of $10.
$10 plus, I think it is.
It's $10 plus, but $10 is like the max level.
Yeah.
And it'll be up for pay what you want very, very soon. There is some sound issues because there was a mix-up with the microphones where the wrong microphone was used for the recording, so it doesn't sound too great. I don't like it. People might hear it and think this sounds fine, but to me it's not good enough. So we're going to be doing a 3rd bonus episode before March is over.
What are we going to do?
We're going to do another crossover chaos about Forever Evil.
Okay, cool. I'm down.
And before we start, I want to take a second to talk about Pay What You Want and what that means as we're about to launch it as the month finishes.
I don't really know anything about that.
Well, basically, the episode's going to go up and you can pay what you want for it.
Yeah, I know that. I just don't know what site we're putting it on.
I don't know that yet. I don't know that yet either.
Okay, so I know about as much as everyone else.
But what I want to say is, I don't want anyone to feel obligated to pay for them. Please take them for free. However, I know that some people do want to support the show, but don't want the monthly process of Patreon. So maybe they want to kick in $5 for this one bonus episode and take the rest of the bonus episodes for free. I don't care. I really don't. As I said, by all means, take every single bonus episode for free. I actively encourage you to take them for free if that's what you want to do. But if you want to support the show in a less linear fashion than Patreon, the avenue is there because I know some people want that avenue.
Yes, you do you.
Also, before we start, we have some new iTunes reviews.
Which I don't know anything about.
Which you don't know anything about. I'll keep a secret from you.
You always keep my secret from me.
Because I like your reaction. People listen to the show for your reaction to things.
It's just, that's nice. Unless it's don't listen to the show, it's awful.
So the first one comes from David Kincannon.
Okay.
Who I know from Twitter, who is at DWKII. He is David W. Kincannon II.
That's a cool name.
His title for this review is A Fun and Informative Listen. 5 stars.
Nice.
And he says, I never thought that listening to explanations of minutiae of comic book continuity was needed in my life. I was wrong. Kieran does a fantastic job giving Helena the lowdown on the insane and complicated world of comic books. Helena's reactions are funny and brilliant, especially when babies are getting killed. Keep up the great work.
Yeah.
People know what they want.
They know what they want. They know what I want. Or don't want.
And the second one comes from ML Kennedy, who I know from Twitter also, who is at WB Xylo. That's Xylo with an X. He's a long-time listener to the show, always quick to point out any mistakes, and I say that in a good way. A few times he's been like, oh, well, actually this, but in a really nice, friendly way that adds to the show. So thank you for that. And this is possibly my favourite review so far.
Okay, right.
Nearly all of the episodes are about characters who wear red. I would like to see more colours represented. I understand by the cover picture that Kieran is a red wearer himself, but I feel that diversity is important in today's comics. Kieran should check his red privilege and explore the whole wide world out there. Even the so-called non-red episodes often sneak in his red agenda. Black Widow, a redhead former communist. Talking about Hulk, gotta include the Red Hulk. Where I hate you, I'll be seeing red and possibly significantly shorter than I currently am. I'm not sure about that though. She sounds about 5'5". I don't know what that would be in metric. In conclusion, give money to their Patreon so they can afford more colours.
That's amazing.
And the title for this review is I like it when they say H.
Oh, that's my name.
Well, there was one big mistake in that.
Well, I'm not 5'5".
Yeah, you're taller than me.
I'm like 5'11".
Yeah, I'm 5'10", you're 5'11".
Yeah.
But thank you to both David and ML Kennedy for their iTunes reviews. If you'd like to be featured on the show, you can leave a review, search Journey to Misery into iTunes, and we will read it out.
Well, if our reviews are really nice.
Yeah, we've had 14 5-star reviews. Not all of them have left comments. We've had 9 written reviews, but 14 5-star reviews.
Oh, that's nice.
Very nice. Lastly, we need to mention the image gallery. Head to kingdomplus.com. That is where you can find the images as we go along.
Yes.
And talk to Helena. So this is Ed Brubaker along with an artist named Michael Lark,
Okay.
who they worked together before on a series called Gotham Central.
Is that Batman?
It's Batman. It's the Gotham PD.
Okay, so
Yeah.
like the Batman universe.
Yeah, it's what it's like to be a police officer in Gotham,
That's cool.
but it's nothing like the TV show.
Is it good?
It's good, yeah.
Okay, that's alright.
And they did that with another writer named Greg Rucka.
Okay.
So this is a month from where we left off.
Right.
And the first thing we see is Daredevil taking out a bunch of thugs who are in the midst of planning a robbery, and some kids in a nearby block get the whole fight on tape.
Okay.
What's wrong with that?
They're gonna see who it is.
No. Where did we finish off last week?
I was in jail! Shit! How did I get out?
Matt is currently pending trial in a federal penitentiary and is getting stick from both the guards and the inmates while sticking to his guns on the whole I'm not Daredevil defence. Foggy is doing everything he can to get Matt to trial, but the feds aren't in a rush to get there.
Okay.
Ben Urich meets with Foggy to talk to him about this new Daredevil that's out on the streets. That wasn't a flash forward, that wasn't a flashback, that was real time. There's a new Daredevil out on the streets.
Who is it?
I can't just tell you right now, can I?
Yeah.
I can't. It's not how the show works.
The show is like 10 minutes long.
Foggy claims to not know who it is, but Ben doesn't believe him. After Ben leaves, Foggy meets on the roof of his building with the new Daredevil and tell him that I don't want to speak to you, I don't want to be associated with you, I don't even want to hear your voice in case I recognise it. I don't want to put this trial at risk, being associated with this new Daredevil.
Yeah.
Foggy's now working with a lady named Becky Blake,
Okay.
who is a former associate of theirs, who has, in the meantime, become a full lawyer herself.
Nice.
And also a lady named Dakota North. She is a supermodel turned private investigator.
That's pretty cool. Fair play.
Yeah, she's pretty kick-ass. And they're working to try and get Matt out. And Dakota comes in with the news that they're trying to get Matt out of protective custody and into general population.
Oh, right.
Where they're trying to be like, he's blind, and everyone else is like, but he's Daredevil.
Basically.
Back in prison, Matt is talking to Carlos Lemuerto,
Okay.
aka Black Tarantula, a former anti-hero supervillain
Oh, it's cool.
type.
He's got like the Spider-Man spider.
Kind of, yeah. Well, spiders are going to have 8 legs, and that's what design anyway.
What?
Like, it's hard not to have a Spider-Man design if you go in for a spider theme.
Well, you can have different types of spiders. Not all spiders look the same.
Okay. Carlos tries to recruit Matt to his prison gang, but Matt is insistent I'm simply a lawyer. I've got nothing to do with any of this. A crooked cop takes Matt to a secluded part of the prison where Hammerhead's cronies are. This is Hammerhead. Do you remember the old Spider-Man cartoon?
Yeah.
Do you remember Hammerhead?
Yes.
He has a metal plate in his head.
Yeah, and it's like flat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Love it.
And they try and like shiv Matt. But he takes them out, and then when the guards show up, he plays like the scared blind man who was caught in a gang fight.
Beautiful.
He's taken to meet with Foggy in like the little phone room.
Yeah, like the little window room.
Yeah. And Foggy's like, they want to put you in general population because it'd be easier for the FBI if Matt died before they went to trial.
Oh,
Because the case won't hold up.
that's really sad.
Foggy gets led out away from the prisoners area, but into an ambush. He's beaten up by some of the prison gangs and stabbed in the chest with a shiv.
Oh.
Matt is banging on the door of the cell trying to get the rest of the guards' attention, but no one will listen to him. And he can hear Foggy's like heartbeat eventually stop. And he's banging on the doors as Kingpin sits a few cells down, laughing.
Oh no.
Matt gets to go to Foggy's funeral on day release
Why is Foggy dead?
because he's associated with Daredevil.
No, it's not fair.
Matt's accosted by Foggy's mother, who blames Matt for her son's death. Matt goes back to his cell, and to vent his frustrations, he begins just punching the stone walls, while imagining he's in his father's gym, training on the punching bag, while battling Jack talks about how he wanted more for Matt than a life of violence. The next day is Matt's hearing, and the judge sides with the FBI, moving Matt to general population, where Matt just immediately beats the shit out of the owl for shit-talking him and demands to know who was responsible for killing Foggy.
Yeah, that's like his bestie.
Meanwhile, the new Daredevil is taking down a meth deal and comes across a dead prison guard in the meth lab.
Oh.
Ben Urich meets with Dakota North, and they resolve to find out who this new Daredevil is and save Matt Murdock.
Who's it?
We'll get there. Who do you think it is?
I want to know!
Who do you think it is?
I don't know.
Okay. In Gen Pop, Matt is kicking ass left, right and centre in order to survive, and things get worse when Bullseye gets brought to Rikers.
Oh no.
But he's in like a Hannibal Lecter style get-up,
Oh, yes.
and he's kept in solitary confinement.
That's really cool.
Matt sneaks into cell block A to confront Hammerhead over Foggy's murder, but Hammerhead doesn't know anything. Hammerhead does know who hired the prison guard to lead Daredevil into Hammerhead's ambush.
Who was it?
It was a guy named Murphy on the outside.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Ben and Dakota meet with this Murphy, and their investigation has taken them in a similar path. He's got Ivan Murphy, and he helped them get some new photos of this Daredevil, the new Daredevil, through a lawyer named Alton Lennox.
Okay.
But Ben Urich knows Murphy is a middleman for Kingpin, which means that Kingpin ordered the attack on Matt through Murphy.
Of course.
Meanwhile, in a diner, a man is reading about the wave of violence that's spreading through Rikers since Matt got moved into general population,
Okay.
where he sees a woman outside being beat up by a boyfriend.
Oh.
He steps out and he just breaks the man's neck
Yeah.
before immediately surrendering himself to the police. And he holds his hand up, revealing his t-shirt.
Okay. Oh, it's him!
Do you know who that is?
So what's his name? Is it the Punisher?
It's the Punisher.
Oh, it's the Punisher, I got it right!
He holds his hand up and he says, "I surrender, take me away." So he's willingly getting himself sent to prison.
Is he gonna go see Matt? Yeah, they're gonna team up.
The next morning, the man who killed Foggy, or the man who is suspected to have killed Foggy, is found hanged in his cell, which everyone immediately knows is Kingpin covering his tracks.
King was a bad egg.
Carlos finds Matt and offers to give him a shiv to use on Kingpin, but Matt declines. Carlos says Matt needs to do something to protect his rep, but they're interrupted by the arrival of the Punisher. Later that day, Turk finds Matt and tells him Kingpin wants to meet tomorrow afternoon in the yard, and Matt says he'll definitely be there.
Yeah, he will.
So Frank Castle, the Punisher, sits down with Matt for lunch and tells him why he's there. He wanted to see what happened when Matt sides with his way of thinking, which Matt says he hasn't. Frank reminds Matt that he tried it the heroic way, and now everyone he ever cared about is dead.
Yeah, that did happen.
But he's interrupted by someone trying to make their name by taking out the Punisher. Frank breaks the dude's arm and nearly kills him, but Matt stops him, reaffirming his commitment to a no-kill lifestyle. So Matt hasn't crossed that line.
Yeah, he's still, well, other than the film, he didn't kill.
Yeah. Dakota North is on the trail of this Alton Lennox, the lawyer that hired, but can't track him down. She gets some heavies set on her to follow her without her knowledge, but this new Daredevil is in the wings keeping an eye on her. You really want to know who it is, don't you?
I really want to know who this goddamn new Daredevil is.
The next morning, Matt wakes up with a shiv in his cell.
Oh.
Someone's left him there for him, which he puts in his pocket and takes to the meeting with Kingpin. Kingpin tells him that he didn't order the hit on Foggy, and Matt's been manipulated enough times to know when he sees it,
Yeah.
or he should know when he sees it. Kingpin says that they've been put in a position to kill each other, and they need to work together to keep each other alive.
Yeah.
Matt phones Becky to check the visitors log for the day Foggy was killed, while Hammerhead and Black Tarantula meet to plan a riot for the next day, so they don't plan either Matt or Fisk to survive.
Oh no.
So they're going to use this riot as a cover to have both Daredevil and Kingpin killed.
He's gonna kill everyone.
The next day, while Matt knows a riot is brewing, Becky does the worst thing she could do.
What does she do?
She brings Miller to visit.
Oh no.
Matt pretty much screams at them to get out, but Miller just sees it as Matt losing it in jail.
Oh no.
Becky gets on the phone with Matt and says that she found out someone who visited with the guy who killed Foggy, Alton Lennox.
Okay.
After they leave, as the riot is set to break out, Kingpin sends Turk to free Bullseye.
Oh dear.
Matt heads straight to the warden to protect him and tells him to get to safety and call in the riot squad, and then heads to meet Kingpin, and the two team up to fight off the horde of prisoners.
Yeah.
Bullseye shows up and takes out Black Tarantula before grabbing a shotgun and shooting up the place. Matt refuses to team up with Bullseye and takes him out. Bullseye tries to shoot Matt, but Matt moves out of the way and the shell hits Fisk in the knee.
Oh. His knees are a weak point.
Yeah, after watching the film.
Yeah.
To be fair, knees are pretty much anyone's weak point. There's no one who's going to get shot in the knee and be fine.
Yeah, but like this man is like huge.
Yeah,
I assume like not many points a week.
true. Matt knocks Bullseye out and leaves Kingpin behind, like kind of going back on their deal. He has to see the Punisher, who's, for the entire riot, the Punisher's just been sitting in his cell quietly reading.
Just chilling.
And he asks the Punisher if he fancies leaving. Back in the real world, some hitmen try to take out Dakota North, but she handles herself long enough for the new Daredevil to show up.
Who is it?
They fight them off and Dakota recognises the new Daredevil's voice.
Oh no, who is it?
And later that night, new Daredevil is confronted by Daredevil Classic.
Oh.
An hour earlier, Frank Castle broke out of prison by using blind lawyer Matt Murdock as a hostage.
Okay, right.
Big inverted commas on that hostage. As the warden deleted all of the footage of Matt from that day.
Ah, right.
Now Matt as Daredevil chases down the new Daredevil across the top of buildings. Matt gets the upper hand, but then the new Daredevil's hand lights up and strikes at Matt.
Lights up?
Yeah, it's Iron Fist.
Ah! Okay.
So Danny Rand thought he was working for Foggy through Alton Lennox,
Oh, right.
who had hired him to be Daredevil while Matt is in prison, but Foggy didn't know anything about it.
So they wanted to make it look like it wasn't Matt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, still we don't know what this Alton Lennox wants. He's not an established character.
Trouble.
We have no idea who he is or what he wants. Danny and Matt head to the bottom of things, or they try and get to the bottom of things by heading to Lennox's office. And it's cleaned out, but Ben and Dakota are there as well, because they had the same idea. Matt tells his friends everything he knows so far, and Dakota goes, you know what we could do? And she hits reprint on the fax machine, and like an e-ticket comes out.
Nice.
So Matt dyes his hair and follows Lennox to Europe to find out what's been going on and what Lennox has to do with Foggy's murder.
Nice.
Meanwhile, in a small suburban town, Foggy Nelson is under witness protection.
Yes.
He doesn't want to be there and he's actively trying to get out. He escapes and makes it to a cab, but the guy in the cab has been sent to make sure he's dead. He takes Foggy to his crew, but this crew is attacked by ninjas.
Of course. There's always ninjas.
The ninjas tell him to go back to the FBI, and even if he doesn't trust the FBI, Elektra has signed a bunch of ninjas from the hand to watch over them.
Ah, that's nice.
So Matt makes it to Monaco on the heels of Alton Lennox. He needs to get to the Lennox's only client of note, a mob boss named Tybalt Luca.
Okay.
But he's keeping a low profile by playing poker and using his skills to the sense when people are bluffing.
Yeah.
Because he's blind, he can't see what's on the cards, and he's still winning at poker.
That's so dumb.
And all of his winnings get him noticed by Tybalt's daughter, Lily Luca.
Who?
Lily Luca.
Lily Luca.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a mouthful.
And she gives him an invitation for their party the next night.
Oh.
Matt goes to the party, meets up with Lily, and asks her about Lennox, which unnerves her, and she's like, leave it alone. And there's something about Lily, like being around her, that seems really familiar to Matt, and puts him at ease, and he
likes her.
He likes her. And she invites him to join her for the festivities, where it's a big matador fight,
Oh, okay.
where the matador fights lions instead of bulls.
That's dangerous.
The matador wins, killing all the lions.
Oh.
And Tybalt Lucas celebrates by announcing his daughter's impending marriage to a business partner's son from Spain.
Okay.
At this
Right
point, the matador stabs Tybalt Luca through the heart and takes off. Matt and he fight, but his backup shows up, with like a load of machine guns, so Matt needs to bounce. He heads after Lennox and Lily, but they're in a helicopter, and Matt realises what it is about Lily that makes him so protective of her.
What is it?
She reminds me of Karen.
Oh no! Oh, I live such a sad life.
Matt tracks Lily and Lennox down to a small city near Lisbon, but he's becoming obsessed with Lily and like really worrying that she's in danger.
No.
When Matt gets to their villa, Alton Lennox is dead in the bed,
What?
and he's been dead for about an hour. Lily's nowhere to be found. He notices Lily sent in a car that's pulling out, and he manages to stop the car to be confronted by another character that you may recognise from the Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s.
Okay.
Tombstone.
Yeah! They've all got that weird military haircut.
Yeah. I really like Tombstone. He was really good in that cartoon. He's not in as many comics as you'd think growing up watching that cartoon.
Yeah, I remember watching a cartoon and thinking, like, these guys must be in a comic school now.
Yeah. Tombstone kicks the crap out of Matt and takes off with the kidnapped Lily. Matt follows them to Paris and discovers, through beating up some of the guys in the underworld, that Tombstone hasn't kidnapped Lily. Tombstone is working for Lily.
Oh! Okay.
And she's engaged to the Matador.
So he was wrong to, like, trust her.
Yeah. And she's working for whoever orchestrated Foggy's death.
Oh no. Oh god.
So she orchestrated her father's death. Now she's got Tombstone working for her, and she's waiting for Matt to show up, because they've planned this like fake exchange where Tombstone is going to give Lily over to the Matador.
Yeah.
And they think Matt doesn't know that they're all working together, but Matt does know that they're all working
Matt
together.
knows now, and he's going to be sad.
He crashes and he beats everyone up. He knocks Tombstone in the river while Matt takes Lily hostage, which wasn't part of the plan. But he like breaks down, he has like a nervous breakdown when he tries to kill Lily.
I feel so bad for him.
Because he's so madly in love with her.
Oh.
That's the Matador, not
Yeah,
Matt.
I know, but I feel bad for him.
Matt realises that whoever Lily is working for planned for her to get killed, so that Matt's unexplainable obsession with her would drive him to be reckless in tracking down her boss. She says that her boss gave her a perfume to wear that doesn't smell like anything, but on men it reminds them of someone they had a strong emotional attachment to.
Oh, that's evil!
And it was created by one of Daredevil's former villains.
Who's it? You're not going to tell me?
I'm not going to tell you yet.
Oh, okay. I'm going to have to go away and Google it.
And that's why Matador went loopy when he tried to kill her, and why Matt smells Karen.
Oh, that's really sad.
Matt tells her that she doesn't have anyone looking out for her now, and she should just tell him what she knows.
Yeah.
Matt heads to Zurich, hot on the trail of the man that's behind everyone, behind everything. He breaks into the house, takes out the security, and finds Vanessa Fisk
What?
hooked to an IV.
Oh, wow.
She admits to everything, and then tells him, "And now I'm going to save your life."
Ooh.
She blames her new illness on the moral decay of her soul,
Oh, wow. That's dark.
since she killed her son.
Oh, yeah.
And she blames both Wilson and Matt for bringing this life to her. She hired Iron Fist to be Daredevil to give Matt something to focus on other than self-destruction while in prison, and set Matt on the path of revenge. She says that she can make the charges against Matt go away,
Yeah.
but when Matt gets back to New York, he needs to get Kingpin out of prison.
Oh, okay, right. I like that she's a woman and she's effectively like the Kingpin.
Yeah.
That's cool. She's powerful as hell. I respect that.
And Matt is like, "No, I'm not going to get Kingpin out." Like,
Of course he's not, because it's Kingpin.
Matt heads back to his hotel to the news that the FBI director has killed himself
With giant inverted commas.
and left a suicide note admitting that he framed Matt Murdock as Daredevil. So Vanessa's done it anyway, and that Matt Murdock is an innocent man.
Ah, okay.
Matt flies back to New York on Iron Fist's private jet,
Nice.
because Iron Fist is super rich,
Of course.
and pretends to be found wandering in the park following his kidnapping by the Punisher.
Oh, right. Smooth.
Matt is now free pending an investigation into the FBI's suicide note, but it's expected that Matt will now be found innocent. He reunites with Miller and Foggy returns. Matt's life is back on track. His best friend is alive, reunited with his wife, and he has his law license back.
Yay.
Everything's going well for Matt Murdock.
For now.
2 days later, he sees Vanessa Fisk has passed away in like the obituaries.
Oh.
He meets with Kingpin in jail to work on their case to get him out, honouring his debt to Vanessa.
Oh, no.
Kingpin, however, is angry that Matt waited until after Vanessa died
Oh,
and cost
God,
him
yeah.
his chance to bury his wife, and promises that if Matt gets him out, he's coming after Matt with everything he's got.
Damn right.
Matt says that he's there to honour a debt to a good person that they both destroyed.
A good person.
Vanessa was a good person that they destroyed. She started out as a good person. And
She started out as a
Yeah.
good person. People change.
yeah, that's what he's saying. Matt's there to honour a debt to a good person that they destroyed.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
He gets Kingpin out, and Kingpin decides to retire to Spain.
Nice, good choice.
Meanwhile, in London, Lily Luca boards a plane to New York.
Oh, she's coming back.
So back in Rikers, Melvin Potter,
Okay.
circular saw enthusiast and former gladiator,
Yes.
has seemingly killed everyone in the wood shop
Oh dear.
on circular saws, but he protests that he didn't do it.
But they're gonna know it's him. Like, he's got that whole thing with circular saws.
Matt's getting back into the swing of things as Daredevil, but there's been a string of robberies, and what they're doing is first there's a loud brash robbery that doesn't amount to much, but that distracts from the real quiet robbery going on around the corner.
Yeah.
Matt waits for the real robbery and stops it, but rather than face jail time, the robber kills his friends and then himself with like no fear,
Oh,
causing Matt to wonder what made him so desperate.
that's dark.
Foggy calls Matt the next morning to tell him about Melvin, and Matt doesn't want to be associated with any Daredevil stuff or any Daredevil villain stuff at this point.
It's just Matt.
But Becky Blake has been made a partner, and it's now Nelson, Murdoch and Blake.
Oh no.
She's friends with Gus, who was Gladiator's public defender, and
Alright.
she said that they'll take the case. And she's like, well, I'm a partner in this firm too, so we can't just defer to you and Matt all the time.
Yeah, she's got a point.
Matt goes to meet with Melvin, who says that he was hit in the back of the head. And when he woke up, everyone was dead, and Matt senses that he's telling the truth.
Oh.
That night, someone is tailing Miller
Okay.
and reports back to their boss that she's seen a psychiatrist.
Oh.
Melvin, who's been transferred to psychiatric care, is being led to his room and taunted by another inmate, and he snaps and kills the inmate and the guard,
Jesus.
and then is immediately seeming confused about where he is and what he's done.
Oh. Okay.
Matt knows something is up, because as Gladiator, Melvin never denied any of his actions and has always shown remorse for them.
Yeah.
So it seems weird that he's denying this now.
Yeah, everything's just got a bit strange.
So Matt thinks that Melvin's being set up. Melvin goes in for psych evaluation and the psychiatrist concludes that he's faking it, even though Matt protests.
Matt knows.
Melvin has to go back to Rikers and is looking at another 15 years minimum.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Miller makes a new friend at the psychiatrist's office and comes home to see that Matt hasn't been home all day.
Oh, how's he been?
He's out tailing Melvin's transfer when it's hit by people trying to break him out. They crash the car and get Melvin out, but he kills the guards and the rescuers and then beats up Daredevil before running off into the night and finding an old stash of his Gladiator costume and gear.
Oh, okay. So just restarted his life.
Well, he doesn't seem to be quite in his right mind.
No, everything's gone a bit wrong.
The next morning, Lily shows up at Nelson and Murdoch looking for Matt's help. She stopped using the pheromone perfume, but men are still falling in love with her, and it's driving them into rages as they compete with each other for her.
Yeah. That's clever, but evil.
And she wants rid of that. She doesn't want to have that power over men. She's come to Matt because Vanessa Fisk told her that the perfume was made by one of Daredevil's enemies, but she doesn't know who.
Which one?
Matt puts her in touch with Dakota North because being around her for too long screws with him and reminds him of Karen.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get all upset.
That night, the Gladiator goes to a Chinatown market and goes on a rampage,
Okay.
killing dozens of people.
Oh dear.
Matt heads to Melvin's public defender's apartment, Gus's apartment, and sees that he's killed himself. And there's no foul play involved, he's just killed himself.
Just done it. Oh, bad.
But Matt suspects that this guy might have been shady and might have been involved with whoever is setting up Melvin.
Yeah, I hope so.
That night, Matt and Miller are out to dinner, and Miller's really angry that Matt's helping Lily,
Yeah.
and she asks Matt to not have her around anymore.
Oh.
While they're dining, the Gladiator attacks the restaurant. Miller gets to safety and Gladiator and Daredevil fight, with Melvin knocking Matt out. Matt comes to, still masked, in the back of a police car.
Oh, right.
Because this is post-Civil War, so if you're not registered, you're as good as a criminal.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. Because the Civil War was all about pro and anti-registration, and spoilers, pro-registration won. So
I got that much.
all the anti-reg guys who refused to register were now fugitives,
Oh.
including Daredevil. While he's in the back of the police car, he hears the faint whispers of someone, the person behind Melvin's sudden turn, and he tells him that the Gladiator is currently heading to Matt's house, where Miller is all alone.
Oh.
Matt escapes from a moving cop car and bounds home to Miller, with thoughts of Electra and Karen's deaths heavy on his mind. He gets home, but it's too late, Miller's been taken. She's on a nearby roof with Melvin, and when Matt shows up, Melvin just throws her off the side of the roof. Matt dodges the circular saws and dives down to save his wife. He grabs her and swings them both through a window several floors below. The Gladiator shows up and they fight, with Daredevil personally offended that someone would try and go after his wife after everything is already lost.
Oh.
Matt notices that Melvin isn't fighting with any of the skill that he's used to him having, and it seems as if he's not in control of his actions.
Yeah, it's not himself.
Matt manages to beat Melvin, who snaps to coherence and, appalled at what he's done, tries to throw himself out the window,
No.
but Matt stops him. While Matt's been dealing with this, what he doesn't know is that working for a new boss, Turk, along with the enforcers...
Okay, they're just like mob guys.
Yeah. That's Ox,
Okay.
Montana, and Fancy Dan.
Fancy Dan! Oh wow!
They've been distributing a new drug that, under its effects, a wave of violent criminals and ex-cons have been spilling innocent blood, robbing and murdering without a care in the world. It makes them fearless.
Oh, men without fear.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
The next day, Matt, Foggy and Becky meet Melvin in Bellevue Hospital, but he's pretty much gone, driven insane by the man supplying these drugs.
Oh, bless.
Matt is beat up from his fight, but when he learns that 5 murdered shopkeepers in one night, he resolves to go out and put a stop to it. Miller comes round to the law office to see Matt, but she's just missed him, and she flips out when she notices that Lily's there.
Yeah, because he's not supposed to see her.
She's still stressed from being thrown off the building, so Foggy takes her home, and Lily decides to tag along.
Still stressed from being thrown off the building.
Matt gets the lead on who's running the drugs, and he crashes the apartment, but when he gets there it's filled with a strange gas, as well as the enforcers who are waiting to fuck him up.
Oh dear.
which they do.
Obviously.
And then they introduce him to their new boss, Larry Cranston, aka Mr. Fear.
Whoa! That's terrifying.
And Mr. Fear, he's got kind of the same, at base level, he's the Scarecrow from Batman.
Yeah.
He's got a fear gas, but he uses it in a different way. He uses it to make himself powerful. He uses it to make people scared of saying no to him.
Oh, right.
He's more subtle in his manipulation of fear. I really like Mr. Fear. And no one... He's kind of a C-list Daredevil villain that Ed Brubaker really built up into this massive deal, and then no one really did anything with him since.
He's called Mr. Fear, though.
Yeah.
Like, what else was this deal gonna be?
Mm.
He can't be that subtle about it.
I know, but what I'm saying is, he's very different to the Scarecrow,
Yeah.
even though it seems like they're the same.
They have similar traits.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, on the subway platform, Miller's still not happy about Lily being around, and she starts getting more and more agitated, and she pushes Lily away from her on the subway platform.
Whoa! No!
Lily, falls into another man, and that man falls directly into the path of an oncoming subway car.
Shit.
As Mr. Fear reveals to Matt that he knows Miller.
How?
Miller gets arrested for murder, while Matt gets sprayed with fear gas and thrown out the window. Matt stumbles out into the night, fearful for Miller's life, not knowing what's happened to her as the fear gas starts to take effect. He sees everyday people as hand ninjas and beats up 2 cops thinking that they're Bullseye and Kingpin.
Oh god.
He swings off into the night but can't get his head straight. He gets caught by some local thugs who've been told they'll get a lifetime supply of Mr. Fear's fear-eliminating drug if they can take out Daredevil. And Matt hallucinates it as he's in a fight with his dad. Matt comes through the other side to find he's defeated the henchman.
Oh dear.
And this is a cool scene. Remember we talked about Daredevil number 50, where it's Daredevil versus the Kingpin, and each page is a different artist?
Yeah.
This is Daredevil number 100.
Oh, right.
It does the same thing, but each artist is a different hallucination.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like Daredevil fighting the Hand, and then Daredevil thinking he's back in the office with Karen, and that's done by John Romita Sr., and it's in like a really romance comic vein.
Oh, that's sad.
And then Lee Bermejo does the fight with his dad. It's really cool use of alternate artists. So yeah, Matt comes through the side of that to see he's defeated these henchmen. He'd been keeping tabs on Cranston, but obviously not good enough tabs. But he knows where he lives. So he heads to his last known address, and he can tell there's someone in the apartment. So as he's about to enter the apartment, it explodes. With
the whole apartment?
Yeah.
Shit.
With the mystery person inside.
Oh god.
Matt then makes it home to the news that Miller has lost her mind, just like Melvin Potter did.
Oh.
And she's in custody right now for murder.
Oh no.
Matt visits Miller in hospital, where she's restrained and sedated. She's been having violent mood swings and even snaps at Matt and Foggy, before immediately apologising and questioning why she even snapped. Matt and Foggy meet the DA, who is sympathetic, but won't let Miller out on bail until she passes his psych evaluation. That night, Matt uses his ninja skills to break into the hospital and spend the night with Miller.
Oh,
but when she wakes
cute.
up, he's gone.
Where'd he go?
Well, he had to go before he was caught.
Oh yeah. I thought it was on like Daredevil business.
No. Matt heads to the exploded apartment building and meets with his contact in the police, who tells him the man who died was the chemistry professor that Mr. Fear befriended to help him upgrade his fear gas.
Of course, he'd have contacts, wouldn't he?
And then he didn't need him anymore, so he got him out of the way. Later on, he heads to Miller's psych evaluation, which starts out okay, but Mr. Fear's poisoning of her is too strong and she lashes out at the string.
Aww.
That night, Matt is desperately searching for Mr. Fear, because now he's killed his own partner, Mr. Fear is going to be the only one with the antidote for Miller.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mr. Fear is running into his own problems, that being the Hood.
Okay.
We've talked about the Hood before.
We have talked about the Hood. The Hood's cool.
Do you remember what his deal is?
No.
He's kind of a kingpin, but explicitly for costume supervillains.
That's cool.
So he organised all the supervillains in Manhattan to work together and kind of split the profits and help each other out. And the Hood's not happy that Mr. Fear is operating without him. So he sends 2 of his guys to fight the enforcers. The Wrecker,
Oh my god.
who has a crowbar enchanted by Loki.
Okay, right.
He's a Thor villain. And he's part of a team called the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
So there's the Wrecker, there's Thunderball, Excavator maybe? There's 4 dudes and they all are like construction themed villains.
Yeah. He's got like giant hands.
I think that's more of an artist's take on him. And the other guy that the Hood sends is your new favourite villain and everyone's new favourite villain, Razor Fist.
Oh my god! Oh wow! Okay. Why? He doesn't have hands. He has razor knives.
And he's basically dressed like a pro wrestler.
Yeah, like a sort of weird leather.
He's got a lucha mask on, a singlet, and thigh highs.
I'm into it.
And he's
Jacked as hell.
Yeah.
And shiny.
And I will say that they aren't gloves, they aren't gauntlets.
They are his hands.
He doesn't have hands.
They're like prosthetics.
Yeah.
Wow. That's quite some dedication to the craft.
That's Razor Fist. He is one of 3 separate villains who have been Razor Fist.
Oh god. Why are there 3?
Daredevil shows up, hoping that the enforcers can lead him to Mr. Fear.
Okay.
Matt fights both teams of villains, and while he's busy with the Wrecker, the enforcers get away. They tell Mr. Fear about the Hood, but he's focused on Daredevil. Matt goes home to find Foggy managed to get Miller released into Matt's custody.
Yeah.
As long as there's a nurse there, like a living nurse.
Oh.
And it's a hard adjustment, as Miller has spells where she slips and lashes out, or tries to cut herself. Meanwhile, it looks like she might have some good luck legally, as Lily has changed her statement to help Miller, and uses her influence over men to sway the judge.
This is so sad.
But if Daredevil can get the antidote, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, but they had to go through it.
Matt tracks down Fancy Dan to the supervillain equivalent of the night nurse.
Okay.
And through Fancy Dan, he finds Ox. He takes out Ox by driving a cab into him and then chains him up to get the answers out of him.
Driving a cab into him.
Did you see Ox? He's a big dude.
Yeah, like he's massive, but...
Look at him.
Driving a cab into him.
Yeah. And what he does to Ox is cool. He chains him up and then he gets a blowtorch and he's like, I'm going to use this blowtorch on you.
Okay.
But then he uses nerve strikes that make it feel like it's burning.
Ah, that's cool.
While he has the blowtorch running. So Ox can hear the blowtorch and feel this burning sensation.
But it's not actually been bad.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And if he gets what he needs to know from Ox out through this weird quasi-torture method. Meanwhile, Lily's gone round to Matt's to see how Miller is. But really, she's working for Mr. Fear, who was promised to cure her if she complies. Matt gets the information he needs from Ox and heads to Mr. Fear's penthouse, but he's long gone, with a message from Matt that says, "You'll always be too late."
Oh no!
Which Matt takes to mean Miller. He rushes home to find that Miller has killed the nurse.
Oh god.
And she gets taken away back to jail.
Back to jail she goes.
Matt can smell Lily was there because the house smells like Karen. And he has to find out why she was there. Mr. Fear sent her to be there as a trigger for Miller.
Yeah.
Causing her to lash out and kill the nurse. Meanwhile, the Hood and Mr. Fear come face to face for the first time. Mr. Fear tells the Hood he has no personal issue with him, but a turf war in Hell's Kitchen would just add to Daredevil's problems. The Hood tells Mr. Fear that he could have helped him in his vendetta, but now Daredevil's on the way. Fear tells everyone to leave as this is his fight.
Oh no, shit's gonna go down. Matt
Matt beats on Mr. Fear and demands to know what it was all for, and Cranston says he wanted to show the man without fear what it's like to be afraid of something. While he's eliminated fear with his fear chemicals.
Yeah.
Matt tries to test Cranston's lack of fear by throwing him off a building, but he doesn't even scream on the way down.
Oh my
He's
God.
just silent.
Jesus Christ.
Matt uses the grapple on his billy club to bring Mr. Fear back up, but he cuts the line and swings into one of the floors below. Matt swings down to meet him, beats him up, and demands to know where the cure is. That's when Mr. Fear reveals that this is one fight that Daredevil can't win.
Oh no.
There is no cure.
There's no cure. They're just gonna have to suffer.
Matt takes Cranston in, and he gleefully confesses everything to the cops.
Oh no.
Gladiator, Miller, everything. Miller gets taken to a psychiatric home to recover, but the outlook isn't very good.
This is so sad.
After a month or so goes by, Matt is told by Miller's doctors that his visits are upsetting her,
Oh.
as she can feel his expectations and she doesn't want to disappoint him.
So his wife doesn't die. She just gets taken away from him. Oh, that's worse.
So the doctors say to Matt, it's best if you don't visit for a while.
Oh no.
So a few days later, or weeks or undisclosed time, and this is a story. The story's called Cruel and Unusual, and it's cool because it brings Greg Rucka on as well.
Okay.
So it reunites the Gotham Central team for a 4-issue arc of Daredevil.
Friends.
Luke Cage asks Nelson, Murdoch and Blake to look into the case of Big Ben Donovan,
He is big.
who is no relation to Miller Donovan.
Okay, right. That's good.
He was a lawyer who decapitated 3 kids
Jesus.
and admitted to it, but Luke thinks he's innocent.
Okay.
And I thought this was a character just brought in for this comic, but Big Ben Donovan is from the old Luke Cage stories
All right.
in the 70s. Donovan refused appeal doesn't take any visitors, and is 6 days away from being executed on death row.
Oh, so he's a pretty dark guy.
Yeah. Luke wants Matt to meet with him and use his senses to see if he's lying. Dakota goes to see Ben Donovan and records the conversation so that Matt can hear it, but on her way back she's attacked at a rest stop and told to leave the case alone.
Oh.
She heads to Matt's apartment and tells him that she thinks she stepped in something big. Matt listens to the tape and the next day meets with Ben Donovan and tells him he's going to save his life. Ben tells Matt to leave him alone and reiterates that he killed the children, but Matt insists, causing Ben to attack Matt until he's restrained by guards. Matt heads to Dakota's and tells them he met with Ben Donovan, and Ben's terrified of whatever happens if he's proved innocent.
Oh, okay.
Dakota heads to the diner where she was attacked and gets a picture of her attacker from the security cameras and uses her contacts in NYPD to get a name.
Good.
A guy named Moss.
Moss.
She tracks him down and beats him up with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
But he says he's FBI.
Oh.
Dakota says she knows and she doesn't care. She wants to know about Ben Donovan, but he doesn't say anything. Matt meets with Ben Urich to find out what he knows about the case. 3 kids were killed, but their dad, Henry Callahan, a dock worker, is still missing.
Okay.
A week after the bodies were found, Donovan was arrested and confessed to the crimes. Matt questions how a single dad was raising 3 kids on a dock worker's salary. Matt shakes down the underworld looking for information about Callahan, and someone overhears that Daredevil's asking and informs his boss, Ken Eric Slaughter.
Right.
And I should have covered Slaughter in episode 1 really, because he's a crime boss from around Frank Miller's time in the book.
Okay.
But he's not a huge character.
So he's a crime boss?
He's like a rival to the Kingpin.
Oh, okay, right. So he's not a good guy.
No. Meanwhile, in prison, Big Ben Donovan has tried to kill himself in his cell, but doesn't succeed.
Is that like a remorse thing?
We'll see. Dakota comes home to find her father there. Her father's CIA.
Yeah.
And he wants her to stop looking into the Donovan case, as it's a matter of national security. Matt finds out that Slaughter's been running the docks these days, while Dakota heads to meet with Donovan's son, Little Ben.
Little Ben!
Who is... It's like a Little John type thing.
Oh, that's cute.
He's as big as his dad.
He's still like hench as fuck,
Yeah.
but he's just a son.
Because she's discovered that while Ben has been in prison, a sizable amount of money has been going into a trust every month for Little Ben. The son doesn't know anything about it, and as Dakota is leaving, she's shot by a sniper.
Oh shit.
In the arm.
So this is some crafty stuff.
It goes deeper than it seems. Matt crashes into Slaughter's office and beats up his goons, but Slaughter has a helicopter with a sniper trained on Daredevil. As heavily armed FBI agents advance on him, Matt makes a break for it and gets away, while Dakota is being attended to by paramedics. Matt makes it out and heads home to find a message about Dakota, and meets Foggy and Becky at the hospital, where Dakota is touch and go.
Oh, nothing's going very well.
Matt heads to the crime scene and from there tracks down the shooter. It was Moss.
Of course.
Daredevil breaks his fingers and Moss revealed what happened. The FBI needed someone at the docks because a lot of sensitive product comes through there, so they needed Eric Slaughter.
Yeah.
When one of Slaughter's men killed those kids because the dad, Callahan, was ripping them off, someone needed to take the fall to make sure the FBI kept control of the docks.
That makes sense.
Donovan was a shitty dude that no one liked, so they showed him pictures of the dead kids and told him the same would happen to his son if he didn't admit to the crime.
Oh, that's pretty sad.
Matt finally gets Big Ben Donovan to admit what truly happened by bringing him face to face with his son for the first time in years.
Oh.
The guy who killed the kids gets arrested and Slaughter remains in charge of the docks, but with Dakota's dad now being in charge of the operation.
Okay.
So, as Dakota's healing up, Matt takes her to see Iron Fist, who uses his chi to speed up the healing process on her arm.
That's nice.
Meanwhile, a new assassin is stalking the streets of New York.
Okay.
Lady Bullseye.
There's a Lady Bullseye!
Lady Bullseye.
Is she just as cool?
She's cool in a different way, really.
Does she still flick things at an alarming pace?
Not so much.
Oh, I like that he did that.
Lady Bullseye was a human trafficking victim who was inspired by seeing Bullseye tear through her captors and escaped,
Okay.
pledging that no man will ever touch her again without her permission.
God bless.
Following the revelation that Elektra, leader of the Hand, was a Skrull. Remember that?
Yeah.
The faction splintered and one of the leaders, Hirochi, sent for Lady Bullseye, an outsider, to aid him in his plan to restore the Hand to prominence. In America, she kills a bunch of muggers and then tells one of them to spread the word of who killed them. Matt and Dakota go back to Matt's apartment and he teaches us some Tai Chi to help with the healing.
That's nice.
She's like super skeptical about it, so Matt kind of stands behind her to get the right pose, and they totally bone.
Yeah.
Matt's still married.
No, okay, yeah, I forgot about that. I keep forgetting that not all of his wives die. Oh, Matt, no, come on!
That's this entire series of episodes. Oh no, Matt, come on.
Sort your life out, son. Just because you can't see your wife doesn't mean you're not still married. File for divorce.
Lady Bullseye meets with Hirochi and talk about a list they have that includes Iron Fist, Black Tarantula, Wolverine, and someone they refer to as the Old Man.
The Old Man.
Her master says that Matt Murdock must be kept away from their business, and Lady Bullseye replies that, oh, don't worry, he's going to be busy for a few days.
Yeah, he is.
Matt wakes up horrified that he's cheated on his wife, who is in a mental institution, thanks to one of his enemies.
Yeah, good one, Matt.
And heads outside to get the paper. There's one thing we've learned from Daredevil, is that when Matt wakes up to look at the paper, something bad's happened.
Yeah, it's always like, ah, shit.
The front page is, Daredevil a killer, claims witness.
Oh no.
So when Lady Bullseye told that guy to tell everyone who killed his friends,
Yeah.
she said, tell them Daredevil did it.
Oh no.
Dakota wakes up as Matt is being arrested and rushes out to follow him to the police station. Meanwhile, Black Tarantula, who has turned face since leaving prison, is kind of like a vigilante now.
Oh, okay.
He's attacked by the Hand in his apartment, while Lady Bullseye watches and gauges his abilities. He defeats the ninjas, and she's impressed by him, even if he's a little rough around the edges. Matt gets told that he's free to go before he's even questioned, and comes out to find Dakota gave an alibi for him because he was with her all night.
Aww.
Which pisses him off because he's got that Catholic guilt
Oh yes, he got that Catholic guilt.
about cheating on his wife. That night, Iron Fist is attacked by the Hand, and Lady Bullseye kills one of her own from a distance before that ninja can reveal why they're attacking him. Matt comes home to find his house has been broken into. Black Tarantula is tied up on the floor,
Oh,
and an old man is raiding his fridge.
the old man.
The man. He is named Mr. Izo,
Oh, okay, he just looks like an old man.
and he tells Matt that he's going to help him destroy the Hand after he finds some beer.
Nice.
Izo reveals that the Hand are back, and Carlos, the Black Tarantula, confirms it. Then Iron Fist walks in, and it's one of my favourite panels. Iron Fist walks in and he sees all these people, and he's like, did anyone else get attacked by the Hand tonight?
The Hand are just out there.
And he recognises Master Izo from the book of the Iron Fist, but the last entry about him was from hundreds of years ago.
Oh.
Dakota gets called away by her friend in the police department as the man who said Daredevil killed his friends has been beaten to death.
Oh shit.
Matt watches over the scene from above and hears female laughter aimed directly at him from nearby. He confronts Lady Bullseye and notes she has the calmest, steadiest pulse of anyone he's ever met.
That's terrifying.
Even as they fight, he describes it as saying this is like yoga for her.
That's terrifying.
The Hand show up in force, and Lady Bullseye says this is just the beginning, and the Hand will be coming after everyone in his life. Daredevil fights off the ninjas as Master Izo enters and goes full Yoda on them.
Oh shit.
Later on, Matt and Dakota drive up to Miller's hospital to make sure she's okay and not taken by the Hand. And she has been taken, but not by the Hand.
By who?
Her parents.
Oh, okay.
Izo and Black Tarantula find the Hand's abandoned lair with pictures all over the wall, and they see the next target is the White Tiger, Angela Del Toro.
The new one.
The new one. As they're discovering this, Angela is confronted in her home by Lady Bullseye, who stabs her through the chest.
Oh god.
Back at Nelson, Murdoch and Blake, Matt is flipping out that Miller's parents got a temporary custody agreement as he gets the call that they're on their way up with lawyers.
Oh no.
They have the signed divorce papers that Miller never filed, as well as photos of Matt and Dakota doing it from their own private investigator. They make an offer. Their private investigator will confirm Matt's alibi in the murders and they'll burn the photos, so long as Matt allows them to file the divorce papers and grants full custody, but Matt doesn't want to hear it.
He needs to sort his priorities, really, doesn't he?
Meanwhile, Iron Fist and Master Izo are stalking out the underworld, and Izo reveals that he's the man who trained Stick.
Oh, okay.
So he's Matt Sensei's sensei.
Yeah.
Black Tarantula is looking for White Tiger when he finds her fighting off a bunch of Hand ninjas.
Yeah.
He joins the fight, but what he doesn't know is that she's already under the Hand's thrall, and he gets killed by the Hand.
Of course he does.
Well,
The Hand just go around killing everyone.
but we know what the Hand do with people they kill.
Yeah.
They bring them back to life as...
Hands.
Yeah. One of the Donovan's lawyers comes home to a Hand ninja waiting for her, and we find out that that lawyer is Lady Bullseye.
Oh.
He tries to kill Lady Bullseye for running around without their master's knowledge, but she says she has no master and kills him for laying his hands on her.
Fair enough.
Matt comes home to find the robes with dead Hand members on his floor, and Black Tarantula and White Tiger waiting for him with their own Hand members in tow.
Oh.
They're working for Lady Bullseye. A brawl breaks out, and Iron Fist and Izo arrive to help Matt. Lady Bullseye shows up and almost wins, but Izo distracts her by realising that with not many ninja there, her master is unguarded.
Yeah.
And takes off. So she sends Black Tarantula and White Tiger after Izo, and Iron Fist goes after them, leaving Matt alone with Lady Bullseye and the Hand. They fight, and Lady Bullseye reveals that she doesn't want to kill him. That was never the plan.
Okay, right, that's good.
They've been preparing him for their offer of leadership.
Oh, that's weird.
They want Matt to lead the Hand.
Oh, God.
They took Miller out of his life safely.
Safely?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess. She's done it in a good way.
Yeah, but that was Matt's fault.
Yeah, he didn't do well.
They have no intentions on it. Matt doesn't want to lead the Hand, and they fight before she knocks him out and takes off. Mr. Izo returns after chopping off the literal hand of Hirochi, because dude loves wordplay.
Yeah.
And reveals to Matt that he knew what the Hand wanted, but he didn't know what Matt's answer would be.
Yeah.
The next day, Matt wants to meet with Miller's parents again, and the Hand head to Spain for what Lady Bullseye calls Plan B.
Ooh.
Who's in Spain?
Kingpin.
The Kingpin is retired.
Yeah, like he's done now, but...
He retired to Costa del Norte, the Death Coast,
Oh, God.
which was Vanessa's favourite place in the world, her ideal retirement location,
Oh,
to honour her memory and live out his life in peace.
sad.
He eventually grew to love a woman named Marta,
Okay.
and her children, Adriana and Jaime. She called him Willie,
Oh,
and helped him learn to be less violent and more patient.
that's cute.
Until one day he came home and they were all slaughtered by the Hand.
Ah! No!
He fights them, but there are too many, and he's brought down to his knees. Lady Bullseye shows up, and she tells him that if he wants answers, go ask Daredevil, and leaves.
Oh.
Kingpin returns to New York and announces to the underworld that he's back. Daredevil visits the private investigator hired by the Donovans to get the negatives and memory card from the pictures, and intimidates him to cut contact with them. Miller's parents won't back down, and they threaten to release their copies of the pictures.
Ooh, okay.
Dakota has a go at him and quits her job with the law firm, as Matt gets a call from his informants in the underworld that Kingpin's back.
He's back.
Fun?
He's back.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kingpin's back.
God.
Turk shows up and tells Matt that Kingpin wants to meet him. Fisk tells Matt that he's not stupid enough to fall for the Hand's tricks, and offers himself an alliance with Daredevil to take them down.
Oh, no.
Matt asks where does that leave them after it's over, and Fisk says he doesn't plan on surviving. Fisk begins working on taking down the Hand, and even breaks the Owl out of jail,
Oh, okay.
and tells him to hire the Hand as his personal assassins, as the Owl's personal assassins.
Yeah.
Because obviously Fisk isn't being 100% truthful to Matt.
Yeah, obviously.
And Fisk, he's seen visions of Vanessa, like scolding him and telling him that he doesn't mourn the loss of his new family, he's just looking for an excuse to return to the life of violence.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Foggy's getting really angry with Matt, who's been blowing off meetings and hasn't been to work for a week.
Ooh.
He heads around to speak to his best friend, and while he's there, he hears a phone call from the Kingpin on the answering machine.
Okay.
When Matt comes back, Foggy flips out at him and fires him from the law firm.
No! It's only a week.
But he's working with the Kingpin. The Kingpin...
That is true. He is being slightly dodgy.
The Owl uses the Hand to kill all the competition in New York, and then reports back to Kingpin that a meeting has been set up. He gives the Owl one last name for the Hand to take out, Foggy Nelson. Lady Bullseye sends White Tiger and Black Tarantula after Foggy, while she reveals to the Owl that she knows who he's working for and demands to see the Kingpin.
Oh, God.
Meanwhile, Dakota's been tracking Kingpin with hopes of finding Matt, and gets caught in the meeting between Lady Bullseye and Kingpin. Mr. Izo has tracked down Miller and tells Matt where she is so he can say goodbye to her, and he heads out. He phones Foggy and tells him to give Miller's parents whatever they want, and hangs up. Foggy heads out for the night and runs into Black Tarantula, the White Tiger and the Hand,
Yeah.
who want to kill him. Daredevil finds Turk and notices Dakota's purse in his car and flips out. Turk tells Matt he's supposed to have him out on a wild goose chase looking for her, but Turk's scared of Kingpin in a new way, and he says that Fisk has lost his mind.
Okay.
Matt and Izo show up to save Dakota and fight the Owl and his mobsters. Dakota tells Matt where Kingpin is, and that people are out to kill Foggy right now, but Izo isn't worried. As Black Tarantula is about to kill Foggy, he reveals that he's actually Izo's sleeper agent,
Oh.
and saves Foggy instead, and then uses his healing powers to save White Tiger as well.
Ah.
Kingpin meets with the Hand's High Council about taking over as their leader, and kills Hirochi for giving the order to have his family killed. Daredevil and Izo crash through, and everyone has a fight. Matt takes one of the other leaders hostage and says that he accepts the offer to lead the Hand.
Okay.
on the condition that they never do business with Wilson Fisk again and cast out Lady Bullseye.
But why would he say yes?
Because he's got nothing left.
Yeah, to be fair, his life's gone to shit.
And maybe he can use the hand as a force for good.
Oh, maybe.
The hand accept and remove both Lady Bullseye and Kingpin from the chambers. With nothing left for him in the real world, Matt takes his place as the leader of the hand.
Oh dear. It's going to go horribly wrong.
And that is where we leave the Ed Brubaker Michael Lark run of Daredevil.
What year is that?
That wrapped up fairly recently, like 2010, 2011 it wrapped up.
Okay.
So what do you think of that?
Sad.
So Miller's still...
Miller's still in the hospital.
I'll tell you that she's still in the hospital now.
Still.
She's still in the hospital.
Oh, sad.
It's sad. What do you think of Matt's new role as leader of a gang of ninjas, an army of ninjas?
It's going to go really wrong.
You have no idea.
It's going to go so wrong. People are going to die. People are going to be sad.
Yeah, it's... But you see what I mean when I said last week how each writer tries to leave the next writer with a bigger problem to...
Like a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why this would be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I would not want to be the one to like pick up that challenge.
Yeah. And unfortunately the next guy to take over, it's not great.
Oh, he failed.
I'm not sure how long I'm going to spend on it.
Okay.
Because what we have now, we have Ed Brubaker, then it's Andy Diggle,
Okay.
and then it's Mark Waid.
Ah.
So what I'm doing with my show notes is I'm writing out the Mark Waid stuff,
Yeah.
who has had a much longer run, and then I'm going to see how much space I have to fit the Andy Diggle stuff in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that will determine how detailed I am with that run. Because there's some crazy stuff in there. And there's a big crossover with like Iron Fist and Luke Cage, and all. It's like a big crossover with all the street level heroes, Spider-Man, Moon Knight.
That's cool.
All the street level heroes in it. So that's pretty cool. But I'm not sure how much time I'm going to have for it. So we'll see about that.
Nice.
Okay, so we have some listener questions before we wrap up.
Okay.
Just a few, not many this week. The first one comes from Andy Hintzman, who is at DeepBeam on Twitter. And he wants to know, he asks, hey, how do you guys know Chris Sims and Matt Wilson of Warlock at Ajax?
Okay.
Considering you live in different countries. Was it a con?
Okay, right. I don't know Matt.
Yeah, you don't know Matt. I don't know Matt very well. I don't know Matt very well at all. I like Matt a lot, he's a good dude, but I'm nowhere near as close to him as I am to Chris.
Yeah.
I know them both through my previous podcast, Have a Nice Day.
Yes.
Chris was on Have a Nice Day fairly early, like episode 9 or 10.
Okay.
And he was actually, I met Chris first on my old podcast, The Enthusiast.
Oh, wow.
I had Chris and Chad on to talk about Subatomic Party Girls and Downset Fight. And then when I started Have a Nice Day, I was like, I wanted some like big name guests to join listeners.
Yeah.
So I knew Chris a bit. I sent him a message. He came on the show. And we were friendly, we talked. And then he came on the show again to talk about Downset Fight when it was coming out. And then we really became friends when, I can't remember which event it was, but it might have been National Pro Wrestling Day. So over a year ago, me, Chris and Kyle Starks watched that on Skype.
Oh, that's cute.
Well, I think that might have been just me and Chris. And then Kyle joined us for another one. I can't remember which ones were me and Kyle, which ones were me and Chris, and which ones were me, Chris and Kyle. But me and Chris watched National Pro Wrestling Day together and freaked out over Chikara coming back, and been friends with Chris ever since. Went to trios with Chris and Kyle, shared a room with them, and Chris is one of my like close friends now.
Chris is a good egg.
And that's how you know Chris.
Yeah, I know Chris because of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris is great.
Yeah.
I'm excited to meet him.
Yeah, like we don't really say like, oh yeah, we love Chris, because we use him as kind of an authority on this show. Like I'll explain.
Chris is a higher being.
I'll explain to you something like, well, Chris says this, so.
Chris is the leading authority on this thing and this thing and this thing. Isn't he like cited on Wikipedia or something?
Yeah. He was on the Daily Show, you know.
What?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
As a Batmanologist.
Oh my fucking god.
Because it was when
Chris really?
it was when DC announced a Muslim Batman, you know, because Batman Incorporated.
Yeah.
So it's like the Batman of every country. The French Batman is Muslim.
Oh, cool.
And there was obviously some blowback against that because people are dicks. So the Daily Show flew Chris out to New York.
Oh, wow.
To be on the Daily Show to talk about Batman.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sure Chris is super happy that he's getting this like section.
And the second question comes from Michael Francis, who is at FrankieMon on Twitter, and he wants to know which Flash costume is your favourite? Barry, Wally, Jay, Impulse, John Fox, etc.
I think it's Jay, the one with like the little helmet.
Yeah.
I really like that. I don't know why.
My favourite is the Mike Waringo Wally West costume, which is different to the later Wally West costume. The Mike Waringo one has the blank white eyes.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
And the jagged lightning belt, because the way you can tell the difference between Wally and Barry, traditionally, not anymore, was Barry's like lightning bolt belt went all the way around.
You've described this to me before.
And Wally's like meets in the middle at
Yeah.
that point. Now Barry has Wally's old costume.
Yeah.
Also, Barry has blue eyes, Wally has green eyes.
Alright. I just like the little helmet.
And Bart has gold eyes.
Mine's a lot simpler.
So yeah, Wally West. But as I said, John Fox with, you know, that blue, slightly 3D costume.
Yeah,
That one. Impulse is a great design that really captures what the character's about, with the big goggles and the massive boots.
I like all of the Flash costumes though. Like, the costume work is good.
Yeah, there's a really good unused Mike Waringo design for Bart Allen's Kid Flash that I'm a big fan of. If you can seek it out, it's fairly easy to find. Just Google Mike Waringo Kid Flash design, I'm sure you can find it. But I really like that one.
Nice.
Yeah, that is our show for this week. We are on iTunes. If you'd like to leave us a rating, review, subscribe, you can do that over there. Just search Journey into Misery. As always, if you leave us a written review, we will read it on the show. The Patreon is patreon.com/kingimpulse.
The Patreon we need $5 for.
We're $5 away. Hopefully by the time this episode goes up, we'll have hit $100.
Please no.
If you pledge at the $10 level, you can listen to both bonus episodes that are coming up, which include Crossover Chaos, Identity Crisis, and Cinema Crisis. Daredevil 2003 is the director's cut.
It was, yes.
We talked all about it. There's a lot of new metal.
There's so much.
But that episode will be up on Perry One by the end of the month.
Soon.
Yes, in a week or two, I reckon. I'm going to look into my options for that. You go to kingimpulse.com, which has all the previous episodes and
The picture gallery.
links to the picture gallery, and that's everything really.
Yes.
I'm Kieran Shiak, I'm at King Impulse on Twitter.
I'm Helen Hart, I'm at HU on Twitter.
This has been a Journey into Misery.
Yes, yes it has.
The most definitive.
It's really sad.
We'll see you next week.
It was really upsetting. When you're like, she doesn't die, and I'm like, okay, that's good. She doesn't die, she just gets taken away forever.